Well, Trent, after the last time these two teams played, do you get the sense that the boys want to restore some pride?
Look, we haven't had a chance to talk about it much with the short turnaround, so we'll talk a bit more about it today. But that won't be brought up. But you don't forget. You never forget. But you want to play your best footy, no matter the opponent, and that's no different to Friday night. We want to go out and we want to improve on what we're doing, and we want to do it with an intensity that we want to play with.
Is there usually extra spice in these clashes, Roosters and Rabbitohs?
There's usually extra spice externally from media and obviously fans, which is great, which is what we're here for. We're here for entertainment, so we want that. But we have had some big clashes. We've had some big games over the last 100 odd years, but especially in my time here, we've had some big moments. You don't forget them, and you want to attack them. With that neighbour versus neighbour attitude.
Vic Radley's back in after a long time out. How excited is he to get back in?
Yeah, he's excited. We've missed him. It's good to have him back. He brings a love for the game and a style of play that we like. So it's good to have him finally back.
He goes 1,000 miles an hour when he's out there coming back from such a serious injury. Do you need to talk to him about managing his way back in and maybe not going as hard sometimes?
No, they're not. If they're not ready to play, they won't play. But a bit of that's obviously through the bench, coming off the bench. So we'll let him off the leash, but not completely yet.
How long will he sort of have that limited load?
Yeah, he's been training hard for a long time and doing as much or more than anybody else. So it's about allowing him to play the footy he wants to play, but also making sure that that's less than 80 minutes. So we'll allow that to happen.
We saw, Vic obviously had a 2-game suspension. Would he have come back last week if he was able to, or were you happy to give him an extra week regardless?
Yeah, no, he's been ready for a bit to play, but the suspension was there, and now he's ready to go.
He came into first grade as a hook. Would you expect him to help out Freddie a bit off the bench?
No, I don't think so. He's always that option within game, but he's a running lock. Yeah. Yeah, he adds a brutality to the game, the way that he plays, the way that he runs the ball, the way that he contacts. I've loved the way that Angus has started the pre-season and also started the season in the trial and first round. So it's good to get him back out there and get some rhythm there with that edge.
You said last week Jake Friend had an appointment with the specialist. Do you have an update on him?
No, not as yet. Not as yet. We will soon, but not as yet.
Just a matter.
Yeah, no, he's all good. He's fine. He's back to normal. He's back training, with weights and running and doing all that. So, he's feeling normal. He did not long after, but then there's obviously a history that we've got to go over to make sure we get it right. So, he's back to the normal Jake.
What's the sort of practical process like there? Is it a matter of consulting a specialist and sort of waiting to see what some people are?
Yeah, it's a good question because there's not a process. There's no one outlines a process of what you should do. It's up to the club doctor, and there's obviously the process straight after a game of concussion. You have to see an independent doctor now for this year. But after that week ends, the process isn't there. The process is, what's the history of the player? How much do you care about the player and not the team? And how long are you going to take to get that player right? And that's left with Tom, our doctor, who's been amazing, and a couple of us at the club to have a conversation over. So there's no intervention from anybody from the game that says what we should do.
And is it a source of pride when, as a club, you probably take concussion as seriously, more seriously than others?
No, I don't see it that way. I see it more. If you care about your players, then every case is individual. Everybody's an individual, and we want to win, and we want to continue to win. That's without question. But if these players for Tom or myself or the club. If this was our son, what would we want to happen? If you can mix the two, if you can absolutely win and then balance out what you should do for someone that you care about, then you'll find the right answer.
Jake, I mean, there was a lot of chat when it happened about him still a kid, he's still married. There's a lot of chat about him potentially falling behind on his career. Is that a discussion you guys had or anything about that?
Look, as I said, we're not sort of ready to go into details yet on where we're at with it all. It's as I said, that we've got one more specialist to see, and then we'll sit down with Jake, most likely sort of this week, the end of this week or the beginning of next week, to nut out what the process and what we're going to do.
What do you think Benji Marshall has brought the South off the bench the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, he's obviously been used two different ways. He got brought on to bring a bit of spark in that first game when they were down by some points, and offered some variation around the middle, and then as a replacement to Adam in that with the concussion that he had, to come out and play half. So experience, he's got a good understanding of how this game's played and what he needs to bring to it, and he obviously knows Wayne well and what he wants from him. So he's brought that the last 2 games.
It's been a year since Latrell was here, but do you think players always lift against their old clubs?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to them. Every player wants to lift against their old club. I think that's natural, that's human to want that. So, yeah, I don't think there's any different knowing Trell and where he sits. I know how he'll want to play as well.
Given the Suwali drama in the off-season, do you think the South will be coming out roaring against you guys?
You'll have to ask them.
Are you able to sort of give us an update on Joseph and just how he's going?
Yeah, you watch the games. He's going well. He's training really well, but he's playing really well. So he's had a pretty good start to his reserve grade career. No, that's not the way he thinks. He doesn't think that way.
What have you made of Latrell at fullback, and is there anything from like you're at a different position that you can borrow to try?
Oh no, I think you have to ask Wayne that. There was a lot of discussion last year when people didn't back him to play well, and I think I said that I saw him play a lot of fullback. He played fullback here, so we know he's done a lot here. He's a legend of our club, and now he's at Souths and playing in their role. So you'll have to ask him. We care about him here for what he's done and who he is, but he's no longer in these colours. So that aims up for a rivalry on Friday night.
You mentioned extra spice a bit earlier. Desco coming up against Arrow for the first time since that Origin game. Do you think that is that on his mindset at all, or is that sort of purely an external thing?
Well, he hasn't mentioned it to me, so I don't know where he's at. I don't know what he's thinking about that. So players care about Teddy, and it shouldn't have happened. So we'll see what motivation that brings on Friday.
As Teddy said, it could be dangerous if Victor sort of comes back and tries to square the ledger. Do you have to sort of say anything to him to just sort of make sure he's as calm as possible?
I think there's thousands and thousands of fans that don't want me to say anything. That's why we're in the entertainment business. They want to be able to watch that happen. So that's what we're here for, and it's not up to me to damper that spirit that we want players to play with.
Have you got the sense that Victor has just been championing a bit to come back?
Yep. It's not about this game. He's been championing at the bit for a long time to come back. That was pretty clear even a couple of weeks after he got injured. So it's been a long wait, but it's good to see him back.
And with him and Sam Burrells on similar timelines, does that mean Sam Burrells is pretty close to come back as well?
Yeah, Sam's close. He just had a little bit longer just before Christmas. He just had a little bit of a clean-up to do, so he's not far. He's close, so he'll be 1 or 2 weeks away.
And just one thing to come out of the Tigers game was the Dally M situation. I don't know if you saw where Kiri didn't get any votes. Does that kind of stuff get into the club? Do you think they need to maybe look at the system?
I've got no idea, to be honest. If Luke didn't get points, then someone should go back and watch the game.
Just on, I guess, for the first 2 weeks, we've sort of seen unprecedented amount of high shots come out of, I guess, the level of fatigue the boys are seeing with the new rules. Is that a worry for you guys, especially the club that takes concussion so seriously?
Oh, I think the high shots in the game, I don't think it's because of fatigue. I don't think the games have been that much quicker to start the season than any other year, to be honest, at the moment. I think the wet took care of that. Maybe that caused a little bit more. I just think we're more aware of them. They've been around our game forever, and I just think we're getting a bit more conscious of the effect of them. So I think that's why it's been brought up. Yeah, I felt like he's done really well. I felt like he's defended really well, kicked really well, and he's chimed into the combinations each week. He's been getting better and better. So yeah, I want to continue to see that from Lockie.
Also, don't know if you saw the Josh Morris exchange with a fan on Instagram. What was the one-sided exchange? Is the level to which the game is involved with sports betting a concern? Do you think that will be a factor in that sort of thing?
Ooh, isn't that dangerous territory? I think, I think the way that people express themselves, has become immediate, and sometimes they get it wrong, and that was obviously the case. I think the interest in our game's growing, which I really like. I think that's why we're standing here getting to do what we do, but the idea of expressing yourself immediately has increased, and that sometimes they get it wrong. So, I think what's happened's right. People have got to get it right. They've got to make sure they filter a little bit more before they say something publicly.
Have you given your players sort of a message or a suggestion to sort of, I don't know, not with the social media or anything? How do you sort of, make sure your players' welfare is at the forefront of things like this, do social media?
Education around how to understand the use of social media and other forms is important. But in the end, it's up to, we're here to support the players and give them some info, but yeah, you don't tell them what to do, you tell them how to handle it would be a better method.
Thanks, Trent.
Thank you.
Thank you.